everybody has, their good jobs and their bad jobs
Sure.
and everything in between. When you are producing as much work as we do, there are challenges every day.
Right.
And so we do a real good job, I feel like, in the beginning of telling our clients, like, hey, this is a journey together.
Yeah.
We're all wearing the same jersey. They want a job well done on time. We want that too.
Right. Hey, welcome to another episode of Beyond Business. Episode 90, new setup. We'll see how this goes. Joining me today in the guest seat is someone in the community is known. If they didn't know the last time he was here, they know now because he's got trucks all over this joint. Clean Cuts, Colby Geiser. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate it. Always good to talk to you anyway, man. So let's dive in, right? Because I had the privilege last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, where we went and ate dinner that I got to go to your new spot that I've seen on Eldo. And my brain said I was going to walk in that place, which I give you props. It's going to be cool, right? You walked me through, gave me the layout.
Thanks, man.
But I 100% expected to walk into a beautiful facility, operational. And that's kind of where our conversation had kind of just went, wow. Uh-huh. And then we spent our night talking about it because we don't have to throw out prices or anything. I'm imagining the building wasn't cheap. You guys have grown a lot, done a lot, which I think that would probably go hand in hand with needing more space to make you grow more, to be able to do more. But yeah, so tell me, or I guess you've already told me, but this is one of the most insane things I've ever heard, because it seems like the powers that be are, rather than helping a growing company that has not only helps the community, beautify the community, you guys are big supporters of events. You guys, it feels like you have your checkbook out, you know what I mean, when it comes to the community. And I think you even pointed it out that one of the big reasons is you're very well aware that the Decatur community is what Clean Cut is made of. Absolutely. It was like there was no bashing the community. You're going, man, these people have gave us an opportunity and we've ran with it. We've done good things. But now it's time to grow and the powers that be get in the way. Walk me through this again, because I am familiar, some people aren't, with how building goes and how add-ons go and renovations. You have to get permits, you have to get clearance. You know this, we know this. And it sounds like that's exactly what you did.
Sure, yeah, and again, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely right. I mean, Decatur has done an unbelievable job of getting behind Clean Cut and being a great support. So Decatur's a community that I feel goes out of their way to help businesses grow. Right. If you do good work, provide reliable service, you communicate well, you're going to succeed in this community. And Decatur's been awesome to us. I mean, even fellow business owners. So like Taylor Dietz, I refer him to people to go out and landscape and beautify. And, he has a client that needs it outside of their house painted. He goes for a Clean Cut. Yeah. The guys at the Brass Horn, they spread our name out there. Just the community. And
it's not just good people, right? It's you guys do quality work. So you came in the industry, started something, and a community isn't going to support bullshit. Right. So let's not get that. You know what I mean? It's not just a new face. Everyone loves it. It's more like you guys came in doing good work, whether it's commercial, residential, farm, wherever you do it.
Sure.
Guys do. I mean, you stand behind a product that you put out there. You have a very big staff. I mean, how many employees you got?
Close to 70. So
to sell this idea of quality work to 35 crews is hard. Or I guess I don't know. Is it hard, or is it just like, no? They come in, they know the expectation, and this is where we're at, and we make sure we keep a close enough watch that there's no such thing as people getting lazy or cutting corners or whatever. But you know what I mean? I feel like if I had 35 crews out, I would have a complaint a day that got blasted. I feel like you guys don't.
Well, and everybody has, their good jobs and their bad jobs and everything in between. And when you are producing as much work as we do, there are challenges every day.
Right.
And so we do a real good job, I feel like, in the beginning of telling our clients, like, hey, this is a journey together.
Yeah.
We're all wearing the same jersey. They want a job well done on time. We want that too.
Right.
So I encourage people, like, along the way of a process, if there's anything that they are seeing that they're concerned with, or maybe want done better or differently or whatever, to reach out.
Yeah.
Like, you're not bothering me.
Right.
Like, don't be bashful. I don't want to get to the end of the job
and
then I have a list of all your grievances and, like, well, why didn't you tell me that on the second day instead of the fifth? Like, we could have stopped doing, what I mean? So I think that it's important, like, how you tee it up.
Sure. Well, you have a reputation for that too. It's almost like, even if it's not your fault, you want them to be happy. So it's kind of like, hey, we're going to do whatever needs to happen. We're going to make it happen. Which the flip side of that is you don't get no one to answer the phone. You know what I mean? Job's done, checks cut. Sorry, catch you later.
So we don't duck phone calls.
Right.
And one of the core values at Clean Cut is to be accountable.
Yeah.
So, and our services are subjective, right? So I can come in and paint your living room, and you're like, "Wow, Colby, this looks great," and then Mrs. Smith, the same crew, whatever,
so
do the same job, and like, "Oh, what's that?" It's like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you don't tell me, I can't fix it. So that's where I encourage people to, like, hey, don't be bashful. Even after we leave, like, we give a lifetime warranty with all of our interior painting projects. Like, I want to know. You know what I mean?
Want to, like, you're not getting a job. You're building a relationship.
Sure.
Because next time they need something, or their daughter, or their brother.
I paint your living room. Oh, I want to paint the outside of your house too.
Yeah.
2 years from now.
Yeah.
So I think that's important to, like, encourage people. But that's all part of, like, teeing it up and, like, making that part of a process, and, like, showing that we really do care.
Right.
Just as much, or if not more, a lot of times than the client does about the quality of the work. And, like, with paint, it's like, we get done or whatever, and then somebody uses the toilet, or they're using the shower. They're not going through the house the same. They're living in their home, which is different than us walking around with clipboard.
They're sitting on the toilet looking at the bathroom wall.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And so, we just encourage people to reach out, and that's a lot less expensive for me to send a guy back to handle a couple touch-ups for an hour or two, than for somebody to say, Clean Cut left us short, don't hire. Right. So.
Right.
But another core value at Clean Cut is everyone wins. So we want to provide value to our clientele. So we want to do a good job for the right price. We also want our employees to grow and succeed with the company as we grow and succeed. And kind of goes back to what you're asking about, like, how do you retain your crews and things like that. And so there's a lot of that. We're intentional about making sure that, people are growing with the company.
Yeah.
And then the community, like, when we're growing and succeeding in this community, we want to give back to the community. That's an important thing that, Dara and I, talked about when we first started this company. Like, we want to reciprocate and show gratitude, and we like to support,
Well, it's the thank yous that they're not free. So we notice, right?
Well,
you know what I mean? It is like, you can say you're grateful, but you guys are everywhere. I mean, I don't just mean your trucks are everywhere working, but you're involved in a lot of stuff. And I think that's, how's Springfield branch doing? I know that's not really yours, but it's your spawns.
Yeah.
So how they doing? We won't go too deep. I just didn't know how.
Well, and again, I do think Decatur and Springfield are alike, that people are intentional about being helpful to small businesses.
Sure.
I think that's something that we do really, really well in Decatur. And I think Springfield is the same. They do a great job. So my son, this is his first full year in Springfield, and he's done really well down there. He's got a lot of traction, a lot of success. He's done a good job branding the business, building relationships. He's gotten really involved in the community down there.
Yeah.
And I've actually learned a lot through him.
Right. He just went a whole different avenue of getting in.
Yeah, he did, and it worked out really well for him. So we've been a lot more intentional about supporting, like, Chamber of Commerce events and making sure that we have somebody there from Clean Cut, and things like that. And that's helps. Again, everyone wins, right?
Yes.
So it helps the community, helps those types of organizations and those events,
right?
And it also helps Clean Cut, right? So that's something I learned from Jack, but he's done really well. Springfield's great. And I'm just a huge supporter of the communities like that get behind businesses. I think that's important. It's a beautiful thing.
It is.
It really is. And what kind of happens in return is business owners spend year one. You know how it is. It's you have a good year or whatever. It's not like you go out and buy a $250,000 boat. You go buy more trucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Let's
you go invest in a new facility. How can we? So we continually invest back into clean cut. You know what I mean?
So I guess that's my question: is what in the spot you're operating out of now? There's your old spot or the spot, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Are you what was the growth? I mean, I feel like you've doubled or tripled in size in the last year. Is that accurate, or am I tripping a little bit?
So we've been consistently growing about 30% a year for the last 5 to 6 years.
Okay. It's just now it's proven that you need more.
More space back. Yeah.
Because I believe the management office is at home, right?
So
or used to be. Right?
My wife, and she runs the accounting back end part of the business, and her two employees have been working out of our home office.
Yeah.
And then so myself, our production team, and the sales staff work out of our current facility on El Dorado, right on the corner of Eldo and Calhoun.
Yeah.
And we just redid that building a couple years ago. And when we did it, I was like, we're going to outgrow this thing fast. You know what I mean?
Oh, you felt it then?
Yeah. And I wanted to buy the building we just bought. And there's hey, we're not quite ready for it. And we really weren't.
Right.
But I knew that we were going to need it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Within a couple years, and we did. So we're almost tripling our square footage. So we're going to have a much bigger shop space. For
at least now Dara home can be home, not work too.
That's nice. So even with the challenges that we've had getting the building next door going, we decided to we got to go to the next level, and we're not letting anybody stand in our way of doing that. So it's we're acting as if that building is in place. So we moved everybody into our current facility last week. So last week was our first full week of having everybody underneath the same roof.
Oh, really?
And it was really cool. I was kind of,
when you a lot, and then it's
when you work with your wife, right?
Yeah.
So it's oh no, now Dara's going to be ear hustling me. You know what I mean?
Telling me I'm talking to people wrong.
Right, exactly. But it's really not been that way. It's been actually awesome. We're able, the culture's improved. Everybody's feels like more of a team.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was okay, we're production and they're accounting.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And and they're doing this. We're doing. Now it's we're all together and working.
Which
cool.
Is great. It's way better to go like that than you be what the I'm working from home.
Yeah.
Wow.
Actually, halfway through the first day, I'm Derek, this is actually really cool having you here. Welcome aboard.
Do you work here?
Yeah. So
that's great.
So it's been fun having everybody under the same roof, and we've already been able to take advantage of a lot more of the efficiencies of having those things in place.
So did you the building next door that you guys now own that has the big future home of Clean Cut? So did that come up for sale and you were now's the time, or was it whether we get this building or another building, we need to get a bigger building? So how did that work?
That building was formerly Wable Tool, and they had been in business for decades. And I think it was just got to the point where it was their third or fourth or whatever generation of that family. Just weren't interested in continuing with the business. They didn't go out of business. I think they just decided not to
close it.
Yeah, they just decided to close it. So that building, and there's about 60,000 square foot of warehouse space behind it, and an acre and a half of laydown space. So that was all purchased, and then they sold the warehouse space. The buyer sold the warehouse space, sold the laydown space, and then still had the Wable Tool building itself, and that's been sitting empty now for maybe 5 to 7 years.
Oh, it's been sitting there empty the whole time you've been over there.
Well, I've had that building for about 15 years.
Oh shit!
So when I first got it, Wable was there working.
Oh, they were there for a while after that.
Okay. But it's been empty for a long time now, and so it finally got to the point where it's man, because it kept going down in price, and it like finally got low enough where it's like, okay,
I'm gonna get it.
I want this thing, you know, and wanted to do kind of the same thing that the guy that bought it did was, you know, so I go in there and like call the realtor, show me the place, saw it. I'm like, man, this is an unbelievable buy. And so I called the next day. I'm like, let's go ahead and make an offer. And the realtor's like, man, it just went under contract. So like I missed it, you know. And
really?
So, yep. And then fast forward 2 years, it's been for sale ever since. And I called the buyer. I'm like, hey man, like let's make a deal, you know. And Matt with Current Safety, he's the one that had it, and he was great to work with. And again,
they just got a new spot.
Yeah, took Bob Brady. And that building looks great.
Yeah,
Matt is a
good.
Great guy, good Christian man, and a really good dude. And so went to him, and he was, again, that's kind of like, that's Decatur, right?
Yeah.
So you call a guy like Matt, and he immediately wants to help. You know what I mean?
Right.
It makes the process smooth, and just trying to help another small business owner in the community. Yeah, you know, and so, and you don't see that everywhere.
No,
you know, and I think Decatur is like an anomaly of that. And again, I think people are just real intentional about wanting to be helpful.
Well, I think one of the big things is you know, years in the up until the late 90s, early 2000s, this was a factory town. Right? So once Firestone closed, and it was almost like the birth of small business boom, because a lot of people who were unemployed just started companies.
Sure.
So it almost like this became, even though we still have big companies, ADM's huge, Primient, Cat, obviously, but it's like we became a small business hub.
Sure.
I mean, we have a ton of, again, you don't stay open if you suck.
Right.
But it is easy to support someone that you will possibly see at dinner over calling an 800 number and having a crew from who the hell knows come down. It's just, there's no, it's not personable, right? But a lot of people don't care about that, which Decatur does. A lot of people would rather go, I don't need to know you. I don't want to, come do it. However, you guys have like built I know you keep giving praise to the community, and it is good, but I just think my praise is going, well, you have a good product, dude. Taylor wouldn't have 200 fucking yards that his crews maintain if he sucked. You know what I mean?
There's that, and I think my point is just like, love is definitely a two-way street around here, right?
For sure.
If you give love, you're going to get it in return.
Yes.
And that's, again, I think that's beautiful. I think that's awesome. It's given me the opportunity to hire a lot of new people, bring a lot of families into this community. I think we brought over 50 families into Decatur since we started 7 years ago.
Oh, that's huge.
Yep, and a lot of them make really good money, even as an applicator, installer. I mean, we have people that make
good living,
over $100,000 a year as tradesmen. You know what I mean? And that's great money.
Great.
You know what I mean?
It's great.
And so to bring those types of jobs into the community,
dude,
and
you're talking 50 people renting homes or buying homes, renting whatever they're doing,
buying cars, buying groceries,
going to restaurants.
Sure.
That's huge.
Yep.
Huge. Okay. So
back to the Wable thing, and you know, I invited you over. I'm like, hey, check out my new facility. And you were probably thinking, oh man, it's probably done, right? You walk in and it's...
Well, because in my mind, I believe the goal was by 12/1/25, you guys would be in.
Well, yeah, at first it was kind of like we were hoping, like shooting for November, because we wanted to do an open house before the weather shifted. We did one at our current facility a couple years ago in like early November, and it was great because we were able to invite all of our clients out, and then, you know, we were able to book a lot of interior winter projects before we slow down. So that was kind of the goal, like let's hit this timing. You know, I reached out to the city. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I want to meet you out here, do a walkthrough.
Now, is that how it works? You just meet with someone and go, hey, here's my layout?
I don't know if that's really how you typically do it, but
you're like,
I wanted to do it because I wanted to build like a budget and a time frame and all those sorts of things. So I wanted to make sure I had the money to do, you know, just.
But I'm saying, getting the city involved, that's where you're going. I need no hiccups on the back end of this. Let's make sure that what I'm doing, you guys say is okay. And then I'm going to make sure on my end I can afford it. and we're gonna blast this thing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yep. And so, like, do I need to have, steel studs when I frame?
Sure.
Or do I need to have fire rated stud? Or
Right.
do I need to pull an architect in? Or do I need to come up to current energy codes?
Right.
And things like that.
Yeah.
And so, and then from that point, I didn't need an architect, so we drew a little floor plan.
Yeah.
Pulled the permit, got the permit. I had IQ Electric, who's who we use for our electrical. They pulled their own electrical permit because we redid all the electrical throughout the whole place. So we had it all opened up. AD Binder has done our HVAC and plumbing. Same deal. They pulled their own permit. We go through the framing inspection. We go through the mechanical inspection. Pass. Then the city comes in and they put a stop work order on the project.
So wait, who's passing? Who's giving you the pass?
Well,
is that the city also?
So that's the city. It's like their inspection department, and so they have they have an electrical inspector that that's all he does is go look at Lance's work. Yep. They have a plumbing inspector and HVAC guy, right? They have a framing inspector, and then they have their main guy that's in charge of kind of all that, Jason.
Okay.
And he came in and stopped it, and so changing the deal in the middle of the deal, right?
Because and to be clear, you got the green light and the go ahead, and you proceeded.
Yes.
Because when I seen it, it's studded. You're framed up. Wires are pulled. Ducts are in. everything is there.
Sure. Yeah.
It just looks like before you started hanging drywall, someone busted your balls and said no.
Yep.
So I guess that's what I don't understand, or maybe you don't understand either.
I don't understand either.
Yeah. How can you go? You already jumped through the hoops, or it didn't sound like there were any big hoops. You were just making sure you were doing it how it needed to be done.
Yep.
And so you proceed, and then the same place that gives you permission slaps a no more work allowed on this fucking job until what?
Well, until you get fire rated framing.
So that was it.
Until you get architectural print and all these things.
The things that you originally
asked, and they said, and I asked because I didn't want to be in this position where we're halfway through the job and you're like, oh wait, Colby, you guys need this, and this. Boom, boom, boom. Here's an extra $70,000 you got to figure out how to, fund, and 2 more months of time, right?
Yeah.
So of course I proactively wanted to get in front of that. You know what I mean? So
and that didn't work at all.
Efficiently run through the project.
So due diligence did no good.
No, and I think
that's crazy.
So once we had that preliminary walkthrough, I'm like, okay, cool. Here's my clear path to get this thing done. And so I wanted to get done as quickly as possible, right? Because I want to be in the facility with our crews and everything like that, so we can immediately start,
paying for it.
Yeah, exactly. We're more efficient. Profit margin goes up, and things like it. And it helps pay for it.
Big empty building with a lot of
big old ugly building.
But it's got a lot of. You guys have already done a lot of work. There's stacks of sheets of drywall ready to be hung. So it's just a hole. Right? It's just a cash dump right now until.
So we're almost done 100% with the exterior. We repainted the whole outside of it. We changed a couple things, put a wooden bump out niche where we have a huge 16-foot lit sign that's going to go, so we kick the front of it out a little bit. The landscaping hadn't been done since 1970s.
Right. We
got all those old trees and bushes and everything like that ripped out, re-landscaped it, invested a lot of money on the landscape, so the curb appeal
looks good.
Put B&B Glass, they did all new commercial windows, new doors. That was expensive, but they did a nice job.
Yeah.
Looks great. And then inside, we've rewired it, replumbed it, new HVAC.
Yeah, it's a new building.
A lot of new framing. We changed a lot of the layout around, and then built out some of there's 4,500 square foot in the warehouse.
So do you have to take all them studs out? Do you have to put metal studs in there?
To my knowledge, I don't think so. We're not all the way through clarity on what that looks like. We have hired an architect, and so we do have a set of plans, and he's been working with Jason on what do we have to do now at this point, because originally the city said you could take the bathroom in the shop, for example, right, and demo it and enlarge that bathroom to make your ADA bathroom. I'm like, sweet, cool. So I can leave the 2 existing bathrooms the same. I have an ADA bathroom that's 5 foot away from the other bathroom, right? So that made sense. So I go ahead and bust it all out and get the shop bathroom into an ADA bathroom. And now they're like, no, but the one in the office, we need an ADA bathroom in there too. But you already said that's why I had to do it. So I wasted the money on the shop bathroom.
Because you didn't need that to be ADA.
And I've already roughed in the existing bathrooms and started laying tile in there. You know what I mean? And now we're jerking all that out. I mean, that right there was a swing of $10,000-$15,000. That was just
so.
wasted.
Is there not? I mean, just a conversation isn't possible, huh? Just to go, hey guys.
So it's like trying to have let's say you're playing basketball, right? And I'm the point guard, and I drive in and I, throw my arm up, and he calls a charge, right? I don't have a conversation with the official. Have you ever seen one win?
Right.
I mean, have you ever seen a player in a sports game
you're right.
win an argument against the official?
Yeah.
It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So you just have to take their shit and do what they say. I mean, where I'm frustrated is
you're willing to do that, but no one's giving you a go, right?
Well, I was willing to do that. That's why I asked the questions before I started.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now we're changing the rule book
in the middle of the game.
Yeah, $250,000 into the deal. And and it adds a ton of cost, right?
Oh, yeah, every day.
Yep. And so I'm obviously, thankful that Darren and I are positioned to pony back up, you know what I mean, and make it work, but it's not been comfortable, you know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of companies that probably don't, you know what I mean?
That's what forms companies.
And as we've, because I know a lot of business owners and talk to a lot of people every day, and hey, Colby, how's the building going? I'm like, oh, well, good until this, and they're like, oh, I know what you mean. I had that same challenge, or I know this guy that did the same thing and had the same, so it's not
it's not just you.
They're not picking on, it's not the city versus Cleveland or anything
as
like
crazy
that.
as it sounds, it would be better for everyone if that was the case.
Yeah, but I think they're consistent with that mindset.
But
consistently
and with that process. What? Stopping people from succeeding?
I feel that way, yeah.
I wonder what's behind that, because I feel
and I'm not sure it's different here than it is anywhere else. I think that it might kind of be that way in other communities too. I think that's somewhat of how, you know what I mean, those types of departments operate. I'm not real sure why. But,
but you can't.
But it's really disappointing because you take a building like ours that looked terrible. It hasn't been renovated and I don't know, since I can remember.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then now here, our building right next to it looks great. You know what I mean? That building looks great. Neil Tire just got done repainting the outside of their building. So now it's all 3 buildings now whoa.
Nice.
Where this used to look like shit driving down Eldo, it's starting to look great,
I just think you have somebody in the city busting your balls rather than helping you.
Yes.
I think that's what's throwing me off, is it's we have departments of our city that's job is to get people to come here, to open up businesses, to rent warehouse space, to move whatever business they have in an expensive area somewhere where not only is it less expensive, but we love our community. But then on the ass end of that is a department that's just busting balls of people who are trying to do exactly that. I think that's what it just doesn't register with me, because people will not come here.
Right. Or they won't do it twice. They might do it once, but they're not going to do it again.
Right.
And I've had clients that, they invest in commercial real estate or rental properties or whatever, and they're from out of town. They're like, man, the buy-in here is real affordable, right? On a spreadsheet, the numbers here look great.
Right.
And taxes are relatively low. For Illinois.
For what it is.
Yeah. So, and they'll come, hey, Colby, we're going to do this building. Then as soon as we find another one, we're going to do another. And then we'll be halfway through the project. This will be our last one here.
Just don't want to deal with it.
We're not going to deal with this anymore. But I think back to what I was saying, I think the people in the community, the other business owners, the regular residential clientele, they're, pro small business, want to support you, want to get behind you. Nicole Bateman at the Economic Development Council, she's a rock star. She's the Michael Jordan of that industry, man.
Right.
She's killed it. She's brought a lot of big people in here. She's raised several $1 billion to fund, those initiatives. The Limitless program, is great. and she, has done a good job marketing Decatur, selling Decatur.
Right.
You know what I mean? But those projects don't stop until the project's done. So I think the front side of all that is done very well through Nicole. I mean, she is the bomb. I think she's the best I've ever seen. She's total pro, real sharp.
But then on the back end, you get treated like you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, so it's like, if there's a tripod, right, you got the community, you got the EDC, and then you got the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, man, if we can just get the city,
yeah,
you know what I mean, to
that's it. You're
to
not
wear the same jersey, you know what I mean? It's not a us against you. It's like, how can we all be on the same team?
It's called a community.
Yeah, that is a community. Yes, we should all be like working hand in hand and helping.
Yes,
and if we did that, you know what I mean? Think about the opportunity about how much more successful this community would be if maybe the city would open their mind to not being so challenging. And I mean, this stuff where, like you're saying, I don't need a print. Now I need a print. Well, there's 10 grand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's just
you knew if I needed one or not. I think that's where
why did you ever accept my permit without a permit in the first place?
Oh, without drawings.
Right. Yeah, like, if you needed that, why I proceeded, you approved it without one. Now, halfway or 3/4 of the way through the project, you need one? Like,
now that it's actually coming to life, you can see the...
Yeah, we have to drywall and paint, like the flooring's done in there. All the electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all the hard stuff, the framing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, literally 2 weeks, boom, we'd be in there working. And it's like, we haven't been able to do anything inside there for, 6 weeks or 2 months, maybe. And like, then it's like, you got to stop work order. It's like, okay, well, what do we got to do? Well, then a week goes by, you don't get a response, and then you follow back up, and then you know what I mean.
So literally, it's just
then you
waiting on someone to write you a letter.
And the comment was made that they felt that our project was moving along too fast, and they wanted to slow it down, and that really offended me because it's
What's
like,
that even mean? You're like, it's my manpower.
Right.
I know it's going fast.
Right.
I'm paying people.
It's our building. It's our money. You know what I mean? I don't feel like they have the authority to determine the rate of speed of, you know what I mean?
It's the most insane fucking comment ever.
Right, and I'm all about...
You're doing too good. Too fast.
Right. What? And I don't want the building to burn down and kill people, and I don't want people getting hurt over there. But it's not about that, you know what I mean?
So that's what I'm saying. It'd be different if you were going, I'm just trying to get them to overlook this thing because we're good for the community. You're going, no. I've jumped through every hoop to get where we're at. I'm still running into barricades.
Yeah.
Not to mention ones that are costing you.
Oh, yeah. Big, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah. So while it's supposed to be up and running, instead you're having to come up with more funds.
And then I thought about, like, I should get a group of peers, because I talked to them all and they've all shared similar experiences. Like, hey, why don't we all get together and run down there and go to a council meeting or whatever and talk to them and get them on board? Well, and I understand why, but nobody wants to do that because they got to deal with them. So
if it doesn't go well, they ruffle feathers, then they're not going to get their permit they need tomorrow, for sure. Right.
I mean, do you think, like, Jason watches this podcast, I'm this close to getting back in there to start working. He's not going to, I don't care. He's going to do what he's going to do. But most people, what I'm saying? I feel like I need to stand up and share what's going on here because I want to help the community more than I want to help myself. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it's my responsibility as an owner of a business in this community to share, so that we can improve.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would feel like I'm just using...
Well, and when you got a rock star like Nicole on the front end of it, killing it, it is like a hold up, man.
Well, and I called
that tripod thing, that was great. Yeah. That's a great analogy to go, come on. We are on the same team. Even if you don't want to be.
Yep.
But it is, I think what you're saying is right on point as far as getting people to just go get answers, but it's not going to be that easy.
And then and Nicole,
accountability's rough, man.
And I called her, and I know Nicole, we've done some work at our house, and her husband Mark, and they're great people, personally and professionally. Right. So I called her, I'm like, hey, I don't know if you can help me or not, but maybe I can help you. I'm like, here's what's going on. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those types of things. And she's like, she goes, I am. And she was immediately just helpful. Like, here's what you might want to think about doing, and here's some people that you can maybe call and talk to down at the city that I know that would be open to hearing, what you're saying. And she's like, oh, by the way, you're in an enterprise zone, so you don't have to pay sales tax on any of the materials that you are buying to do your rehab. Like, she was just immediately just dug in, like, here are ways I can help you. Is there anything else I can do? Or like, if I emailed her or called her or texted her, boom, response within minutes or seconds sometimes, the bomb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're blessed to have her running the EDC. I mean, we really are.
Right.
Because EDCs aren't all like that, you know what I mean?
No.
And to have like somebody that sharp in that position, like,
that's
is huge.
Well, and it's showing she's doing big things here. I mean, it shows that we have someone powerful or good in that powerful position.
And then, like, what's funny is, like I said, I've owned the building we're in for the last 15 years, and it's all like my building, Label Tool, Neil Tire. They're all right there. There's that alley that runs behind the building. So I drive in and out of there to get whatever, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's like these barrels like sitting in between Label Tool where we're moving into and Neil Tire. And they've been there since,
like 55-gallon drum type thing?
Like whatever, tranny fluid or whatever the hell's in there.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what I mean? I'm like, we got to move these, right? They were kind of on my property, kind of on Neil Tire. So I went over there. I'm like, hey guys, like, I just bought this building like yesterday, and I'm like, these barrels these drums or whatever the hell this stuff is, it's gonna be an issue. Like, I'm not trying to be that guy, like a bad neighbor or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like here to tell you, like, now that I own the building, like, these are gonna be an issue. So please move them, And they immediately just thought I was being a dick.
For sure.
I mean, like a territorial type guy.
Although,
which I don't really care.
It's also yours.
Right. But, I mean, they're kind of out of sight in the back corner of the lot. Yeah. I don't care otherwise. Right. But I knew the city was going to.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, like 2 days later, like, we get this letter from the city, like, move the barrels off your property. Like, first of all, it's debatable whether they're really on mine or not. They've been there for 15 years. And like, now you all of a sudden have an issue with them because I own the building. You know what I mean?
So is it a person or a department? What do you in your experience, is the problem
I think the
with
mindset,
a person or a department?
I think the mindset in general down there with like code enforcement and like the inspectors and stuff like that is not in line with being pro business.
I just don't understand.
And it's like, I think they look at like, okay, well, here's Clean Cut. They, can probably, if they don't have the money to deal with these barrels, then they can probably find it. You know what I mean? And so let's let them, let's get these cleaned up. You know what I mean? And like, and they could have just like reached out and been like, hey, I'm glad you're doing something with the building here.
Don't know if those are yours or
don't
not.
Know if those are yours or not, but what do you think about trying to get rid of them? Here's maybe some ways that we could help you or whatever.
Right.
Or, you know what I mean? It wasn't like that. It was like, move these barrels or I'm going to find you. And you'll have a court date on, December 11th or whatever the hell it is. It's like, come on, guys, And so I had to go back over there and like printed the thing out, slapped it on the counter, Neil Tire. I'm like, hey, guys, I'm like, serious. I was not trying to be a dick. Like, this is so exactly what I was talking about.
Right.
Need to get them moved, man.
Were they like, oh, fuck?
Well, they were pissed, at me. Like, don't be pissed at me. I'm like, call the dude from the city. His number's right on the letter. What I mean?
Matter of fact, please do.
Yeah.
Well, so explain this part to me. So you guys are in there working, and this Jason guy from the city comes in and just says, what? You guys stop right here. Or how'd that interaction go?
Well, I mean, slaps this, look, we have this huge window on the front.
Oh, he didn't communicate with you?
No, just post it and then
so we drive by and see it
and then beelines it. I'm driving past the building, I'm like, what's this big red sign on my fucking window? You know what I mean? And it's not like I'm in like the home service business.
Yes,
that's the business Queen Cat's in. Part of the reason why we're there is because of the political capital of like tens of thousands of cars driving by the building, right? Yeah. It's got a big old sign, future home with Clean Cut.
Like red signs.
I am trying to use this as a marketing, thing too, right? Yeah. And I didn't really appreciate that sign being like advertising, like, hey, Clean Cut doesn't follow, codes and stuff like that.
I've been replying to your mail, right? You could have just sent me a letter.
So I like took it down and just reposted it inside, and that apparently didn't go over very well either.
Oh, they wanted you to leave it on?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like, you walked in and I showed it, like, I put it on the wall, like, right when you walk in, so people can see, like, if you walk in to do work, like, don't, because there's a stop work order, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I didn't. Who would want that on the front of their building?
No one, ever.
Especially when you're in the home service business.
Yeah.
Right? It's not like, that's the wrong type of advertising. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But yeah, it wasn't like a call. It was like, you know, he slapped it on the window and drove off, and you know what I mean? And I just happened to notice it. I'm like, phew.
So you think what? These, like, the contractors, the, like Steve Fish, like Air King and, I don't know, we got a few decent, they just pull permits every day. You think it's just they're used to it, or the city's accommodating to the people they deal with all the time?
Well, I mean,
or do you have any idea?
Now that Jason's came in and taken over, you know what I mean? There's a whole new set of rules and stuff. And I mean, to his defense, he's real good about making sure things are done right and that everybody's safe. And I appreciate that about him. And he knows
stalling projects is a problem.
Yeah, and he knows a lot about fire code, and he's educated and all that stuff, and keeping people safe. And I'm all about all that. You know what I mean? That's not what I'm talking about here. But you know, now there's been a huge turnover. So like the plumbing inspector that was there for however many years and years, great dude, not there anymore. A couple other key people have left, you know what I mean, over the last couple months, because I mean, it is just not a good culture. I don't feel like down there.
Well, that's
like when you're
those elected positions, or are those just jobs?
Well, I think that he probably works for the city manager and the mayor, you know what I mean, or his bosses, but it's just disappointing, you know. And I think here, I mean, is really like what we're talking about is a good opportunity for us all to improve. You know what I mean?
Yes. But didn't you say there was some? You said there was some type of work maybe that you're like, I'll never do this again because.
Well, and like I've talked to my peers and they're like, man, I'm not going to say anything because I pull permits every week or whatever. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, I'm just not ever going to do another job that requires me to pull a permit. Like I won't go out and remodels after a fire.
Yep.
Like I'm gonna be like, hey, you're gonna have to call John at Promax. Like I'll paint for John for you or whatever. You know what I mean? But like clean cut isn't gonna pull. I don't have the time. You know what I mean? That it takes to deal with all this stuff.
Well, can you imagine?
I mean, the tens of hours I've spent on our personal building. Like if that was 5 jobs, I'd have to have like a full-time person. That's all they did was manage, you know, the city.
Yeah.
Like here, yes, you can proceed. Oh no, you can't. Well, like I can't stop what I'm doing and like carve out like 2 days to deal with it.
Well, and I think that's
on 10 job sites at the same time.
That's what I'm like. What if that wasn't your building? What if that was a contract? What if you were doing that for someone? You're sitting there going,
it'd be a bad day.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, at least I get the benefit of like the building.
Yeah, you do that. yeah.
But like so to your point, like if I'm doing it for a client, like I'd be eating it.
Oh.
The whole job would be done for free.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Screwed.
So like I'm not going to do a job that requires clean cut to pull a permit ever again. No way, until something's different, change, you know?
Yeah, shouldn't be a process like that.
Yeah, I mean, there are other service providers out here, but not many. So, I mean, that's, you know, that kind of sucks for everybody else. I think.
So I had a guest on, and I'm not even going to say who it was, but I had a guest on several months ago. And he doesn't even do it for a living, but he started this little like side gig, right? Where he's a handy dude, knew his way around a toolbox. He's like my age, so he's, you know, he has done a few different things. Well, I think he's got kids that are like maybe 20s and stuff like that. One of his sons kind of took under his wing and he's taught him how to do like some just home repair, just the basic stuff. You know what I mean? It may be a little bit past that, you know, replace a light switch if the light, you know, doesn't mean you can't ever turn the light on again if the receptacle broke.
Right.
You can replace that, you know. Well, so what they started doing is, and they would only do this, I think like 10 or 20 hours a week, and they'd work on the weekends too, but somebody in this dude's family had been boiling big pots of water to take a bath. And when he's seen that, he's like, what's going on? You know, like, he's like, I knew they had money for a hot water heater. And he said, but apparently, they were charging $1,000 to put in. Basically, you're paying $2,000 for a, $850 water heater to get put in. You're going to spend $2,000 to all around. They'll bring it. Well, she couldn't afford that. And he's like, I know how to do it, which again, it's gas. So, it can be dangerous if you don't know what you're doing, but he was very comfortable, confident. And he did that. Well, in the process, she tells somebody, and he's like, dude, there's like 7 or 8 ladies in my like wide neighborhood that haven't had hot water heaters for years because they will never be in a position where they have an extra $2,000.
Sure.
And so
Listen, everyone, it's time to level up. I've been testing Dubby Energy, and this stuff hits different. Clean energy, zero crash, laser focus clarity, exactly what you need. Whether you're grinding, teaching, flying, or just trying to stay sharp through the day. Go to Dubby.gg and use my promo code BeyondBiz at checkout for 10% off your order. Try it for yourself and feel the difference. Dubby Energy. Focus up, lock in, get after it.
He started doing where him and his son would get a young kid in the neighborhood, a teenager, that showed a little something, and started teaching them. And he would take these kids with him and teach them how to uninstall, remove, and install hot water heaters. And he was doing it for $150 a pop. He said he would pay the kids that would help him, and he'd keep a few bucks, maybe just take them to lunch. He goes, it was more of an experience.
So the lady that can't afford a hot water heater has hot water. He's teaching a young person how to install a hot water heater. Yeah. And he's making $50.
Making $50 and probably going to take them to lunch with that $50.
Everybody wins.
So, and he was just going, we need to make it. He goes, because everyone that I did it for, they all have grandsons, they all have sons, but nobody's handy. And we are in an age where it doesn't make sense to us because we've always had our hands on a tool.
Sure.
But people who don't, I mean, you might as well throw a science project as much as a set of tools. It's like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
I don't know.
Their tool is the phone.
That's it. Yeah, look it up. Maybe, I don't know. But so fast forward, it was really, I was just giving dude props because it was a really cool thing. Because I think that was it. Is he's going, humanity says, if I know how to do something, and you're suffering, then I should help you.
Right.
And he even said, he had a couple dudes that have came to him that were contractors, even handyman contractors, that were like, dude, I mean, minimum 500, and he's like, I get it, but I won't ever get in your way.
Right. That's not the purpose of what he's doing.
He's like, I'm not putting it on Facebook. I'm only hearing about it from people who go, yeah, man, my aunt actually boils water. And he's like, well, who is she? Where's she at? Let's go do a little homework. You can't be getting high. You can't be fucked up. You just have to be in a bad spot, which unfortunately, I mean, you take a lot of people like our parents' age that didn't plan ahead and they're living off a shitty Social Security, then you're not going to expend extra money.
$2,000, yeah.
No, that's you might as well need $2 million. Well, so fast forward,
and no shovel to get it.
Right. So fast forward, he comes on here and talks about it, and we link back up later. He's like, dude. Matter of fact, I ran into him and his son. The guy didn't know his son looks just fucking like him. Matter of fact, I seen his son at like Target, and I'm like. And then he comes around the corner like he thought he seen the young me. I go, holy shit, yeah, that's exactly what I thought. But anyway, I'm like, so this is the guy that's, you guys are helping these kids, helping the community. And he's like, yeah. He goes, the crazy thing is, after I was on that podcast, I get a letter sent to the actual LLC is this trucking company's LLC that received the letter. But that was just basically saying, like, we don't have any records or knowledge of any permit being pulled to put in hot water heater for anyone. So basically, like, it sounds to me like you're saying you're doing something you're not supposed to be doing. So rather than, and maybe that's right? Maybe they're absolutely right. But if I'm in a position in the city where we have a pretty good sized population of people who are, right at the poverty level or check to check for sure. If you have someone in the community that not only is he willing to do something so kind, but also teach people, it's like that's an opportunity, huge opportunity for the city to take part instead of threatening the man with doing something
and crushing his spirit
and crushing him. Now I got to tell the kids
we ain't got nowhere to go tomorrow.
Right, and the reason is because this place we call home won't let us, and it's like that rubbed them wrong, and that's
where like the city should have gotten that information from wherever they received it.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe called a meeting and said, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is cool. There are trades programs out here that are looking for these individuals that want to learn and want to work.
Let's go.
Right. Let's reach out to this guy.
Yeah.
Partner with him. Figure out a way to get him legit.
Yeah.
So that way he can help him, and they can help these people that don't have the means to have hot water.
Yeah.
Right. And we can, teach them code and teach them the right way to do it, and then they can take those skills, go build a career out of it. Go get a job with AD Binder when they graduate high school, because I have 3 years worth of experience putting in hot water heaters.
Right.
Yeah. And immediately start making $75,000 a year. Right.
Instead of they better come up with $2,000 if they want hot water.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. Instead of stop doing what you're doing right now. You know what I mean? And never do it again.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
Tell those kids instead of installing hot water heaters in the evening to go smoke dope and rob houses.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right. Well, I asked him, I said, so what do you do? Because he's definitely someone who'd be like, fuck them, but he also doesn't want to get screwed.
Sure.
He doesn't want to get in a position where somebody's getting in trouble.
Right.
And I would let him put one in my house.
Sure.
There's not a doubt in my mind he knows what he's doing, But he's just said, I just do it for free now. And I was like, huh? He goes, yeah. I mean, you don't have to pull a permit to just do something for someone, not for out of the kindness of your heart.
That's cool.
Just like, huh? And I think it's like, well, of course, if you want to tip the guys, you can. But
here's your recommended tip.
Yeah, exactly. All distributed.
It's like get your receipt from a restaurant. Suggested tip.
But it was like. Yeah, I mean, again, I can't wrap my head around a part of the city that you're supposed to keep things in order. People are supposed to do things safe. They're supposed to do things properly. Even with your building, if you're supposed to have, which I would 100% believe if you're doing a build out that they would want plans.
Sure.
You asked,
they didn't say yes. I asked,
Yeah.
I thought that was probably a thing.
There's existing wood studs in the building already. So unless they are going to demand a tear out, then they answered the question right originally, which was proceed.
Which, like, why would my studs burn, but the ones from 1960
That's what I'm saying.
They're right next to each other.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So if they're not going to make you redo it all, then So it just sounds like an unnecessary hiccup. But there's got to be a solution. You're not allowed to just be a dick or a group of dicks.
Right.
Or assholes, or you know what I mean? That's not allowed. You can't do that. That's not how this works.
Well, I feel like it's an abuse of power for no
How many people are actually trying to fucking get over
on particular reason? And like to your point, like I was trying to understand so I could efficiently plan my project.
That you're paying for out of your
If I was trying to get away with something, I would have just done what I was going to do and wait to see if I was going to get caught or not.
That's all I'm thinking. I was going to ask you that. If you could go back in time now, would you go inside that building and just fucking build that bitch out?
What I would have done differently, because when I come across challenges and the outcome isn't where I want it to be, I always do self-reflection. Like, what could I have done differently to get a different outcome? Right? And so my takeaway on that whole thing is what I should have done is just got prints from the beginning. Even if they said it wasn't okay. You know what I mean? And next time, which is probably going to be in another couple years from now, we'll be ready to do another building.
Right.
If we continue to stay on track with our growth, that's what I'll do next time. I'll pull in an architect in the beginning, you know what I mean, and start there, and then go to them. And then my thought process there is the probability.
You're like, I didn't know I had to stress getting actual approval, or I would have went that route.
So the architect would call out all these things and address, because then, like, the questions were asked, like, what's your egress plan and what's this plan? It's like, I don't know. The same one Wable had when they were there for 60 years. Like, You know, we're not changing where the front and back door are.
Right.
That's where the emergency and there's still going to be an exit sign. That's part of what the electrical inspector is looking for.
Yeah.
There's a red place catches on fire. You get out of the building the same way you did before. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
It just doesn't make.
So what makes you move forward now?
What's my choice?
I mean, what are you? Do you know what you're waiting on?
So right now, just the architect to finalize a couple of things with Jason. You know what I mean? To address now it's an energy code thing, and it's like, no, I'm not going to rip down all the perimeter walls and re-insulate it. You know what I mean? Because we didn't change any of the perimeter walls, right? I'm not going to suck whatever insulation's out of that attic and put new insulation. We're going to use the same insulation that was in there before. So like, the architect is just going back to answer these questions and saying, here's what code says, here's what we're going to do, and just going back to him with an educated response. So I think we're about through that.
But this is all stuff that should have happened before you guys ever did anything.
Yeah, or like
they should have requested it from.
But the advice of like, for example, you know, put your ADA bathroom in the shop. That way you don't have to change the layout of the ones in the office. So I now I'm doing both.
That's crazy.
Like, you know, my guys, when they're spraying cabinets, they don't need a nice big bathroom. Like, they need a urinal and a place to wash their hands. Like, they don't need a huge 12 by 12
dressing room.
Yeah, they're not doing donuts in their wheelchair
and
in the shop bathroom. You know what I mean? So, you know, now I have like
big
2 massive bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? And I pissed away probably like $15,000 doing it for no fucking reason. You know.
So you're going, wait. Yeah. Also, I don't know what. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then, I mean, you hear different things, you know, and I know, like, you know, Lincoln Theater, for example.
Yeah.
You know, and Lavelle's been on here before, and I mean, that building is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he's brought in, done a great job bringing in a ton of, you know, great music and events and stuff like that. And that's a beautiful historical building. And, you know, bringing people in from out of town. I mean, what do you do before you go to a concert? You go to the Gen Mill and eat. You go to Coney's and eat. You go whatever, right? Might show up a few hours early, go to the Brass Horn, go down Merchant Street, you shop. I mean, spending money. Plus, like, okay.
And downtown looks good.
Yeah. And his having the Lincoln, that marquee and everything lit up now, I mean, it adds a lot to the downtown. And I mean, I know they busted his balls, you know, not because Lavelle told me or anything like that. I mean, you know, you hear what's going on, read it in the paper and everything like that. It's like, okay, so you want, rather than Lavelle doing that project, you rather have a big old hole in your city block.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Tear down a theater that's been there for over 100 years.
Finally have a couple people really compassionate about this place.
And you're going to give them a hard time, you know?
Yeah.
And it just
doesn't make sense.
It makes zero sense, man. You know, and it's just like...
But everybody that knows it has to use them and don't want to ruffle feathers, so it's almost like they can abuse their power because they can hold your fucking project.
Right.
Which most people aren't pulling permits for theirself.
Right.
For the record. They're making money off of it. So it's like, there goes every deadline, timeline out the window as soon as you talk shit about the chief. You know?
Well, and like the previous plumbing inspector, you know, I talked to him because he's working... for Binder, who he is, you know, new plumbing, and he's like, hey, how's your building going? I'm like, not great. This is what's going on. He goes, you know, that's exactly why I left. He goes,
I wanted to talk to him actually.
Yeah, and you know, he's like, you know, good for you for sharing that story. He goes, a lot of people don't, you know, because they're afraid of.
So what was his take on it?
Well,
he's just a different person in charge. Is he acting different?
Yeah, it's Jason, and he just said, you know. He's like, you know, we were doing a project for a lady that was opening a salon, same type of deal, you know what I mean? So taking whatever building it was and turning it into a salon. So now you have this change of use thing, right? So say it was a salon before, it's going to a salon again, you don't have to
do all
everything's grandfathered in. Right. Now she wants to take a salon before and turn it
into
like
a
check cashing place. So now everything's got to go up to code. So from whatever it was before, now it's a salon. They wanted her to put this like $4,000 vent in, and she didn't have it, you know, or the ability to get her hands on it. Yeah. And she's just like, I've spent everything I have, you know what I mean, to get into this place, and now I'm done. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I can't grab the $4,000 to get this done for me, you know what I mean?
It's just not happening.
And that's what's terrible. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not
Offer
that-
solutions.
Yeah, and Darren and I, it's not like we have like an extra 50 grand laying around to deal with this stuff. You know what I mean? It's been a hardship for us too. You know, we're blessed to have been able to have the means to figure it out, how to get through it and all that kind of stuff.
It's just really
But there's
discouraging.
people that don't though. You know what I'm saying? So like, and I think that was kind
Well, if you didn't, you'd be in a whole diffment spot right now. It'd be a lot.
Yeah.
Christmas would be stressing.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Yep. It's already going to be a little bleak under the tree.
Hey, kids.
Our first from home.
Santa got the notice too.
Yeah. Yeah, our first at the house went out too, so it's like
Awesome.
Yeah, like sorry kids, you know.
You're going to be warm this year.
Yeah.
You get warmth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. No, I just doesn't. So I remember years ago, and this is I'll make it a short story, but this is just a way that I think there's a consistency and sometimes so much, I don't know if it's politics or or I don't know what I would call it, that goes into, something gets in the way of people just trying to help people. And it's procedure, it's all this shit. With the church that my parents go to and I went to for years, we raised some money. It wasn't a lot. It was literally a donation thing called the Winterization Project. This was back 10 years ago. We were expecting, it was around Thanksgiving, and we were expecting a cold winter. And they raised this money, and somehow my mom was kind of in charge of this ministry or whatever. And so I got to sit in and kind of brainstorm with people. And at the time we had probably 30 people like my age that were willing to volunteer, and they had teenage kids, so it was kind of like
Get the kids program
anything
out.
we would do, we'd have good turnout, whether it was a freaking volleyball game or going and serving lunch, you know what I mean, whatever it was. Well, we go, at the time the city manager went to our church too, and McCready, and however it went, we were trying to figure out how to go and help as many people as we can. So the idea was, take the plastic you cover your windows with. I don't even know if people still do, but if you have older homes, you know what I mean? The
they
windows
don't have
aren't
storm
double pane.
windows anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you put that plastic over, hit it with the hairdryer, and it saves
shoot the casing with
that's
some
it.
foam. And,
Yep.
Call it a day.
Call it a day. And it was something
Buy
that
the
people...
$60
Yep.
thing, you shoot the exterior wall.
And nobody
you can
does
see
it for themselves. So that's really what we did. It ended up being where most homes you go to, it just ended up being an older woman would be the one living there, even if there was other people staying. But our thing was let's just go hit the neighborhoods and let's just literally door knock and go, hey, here's what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, okay, cool. Well, we have to run it past the city. And at the time, I don't even really know what that means. I'm just like, okay, maybe they're going to give us some more volunteers, maybe some cash,
maybe a couple staple guns.
Maybe they're going to give us a blow dryer.
Right.
Oh no, they gave us like a mandate that was like basically saying what couldn't happen and the liabilities that would come with it. And they like we weren't a group. We were just people. Like we weren't a labeled group. You know what I mean? So they wanted us to have like this insurance clauses, and we're like, we're not even a thing. We're just a group of adults.
We're just people that love God and want to help the community.
That's it.
Yeah.
Let's help.
And we want to teach our youth what that looks like.
And so they shut it down. Right?
Yeah, that's a shame.
They shut it down, and then we just did it anyway.
Well, I think it does say in Proverbs, like, you should help people and stand up for what's right, even if that's not what's like
that's not
technically right.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Agreed.
There's like, so and I think again, back to your story about the other guy that was teaching the young kids how to install the water, like all that's beautiful. You know what I mean? Or a business coming in, want to open, all right? So there's the rules, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like, how do we work together? If I'm the city, how do I work with you?
Last thing I want to do is bust your balls.
To make you compliant, so that way you can do this beautiful thing by helping 200 people stay warm, or by helping whatever have hot water. Like, okay, you can't do that, but here's what you can do.
Yeah.
Or like, here's a list of people that are looking for this, and we can have somebody from the city come out with you every Friday and supervise it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was like one of them, somebody sent the secret mail, and they get it, and well, it's like, for that winterization project, it was like 90-day period. Like we would have had to, we could start getting it ready for the following winter is kind of what they were saying. We were like,
we want to make an impact today.
Like we're going to leave here and go. Yeah. I'm going to go now. I just got told I could have the money. Yep. So I'm going to Lowe's when we leave here. Yep. You know, they're like, you can't do, okay, well.
Well, last year we had, and that's awesome. And that's cool of you to do all that.
Well, no, it's just a small story to go.
Yeah.
The consistency of being a hiccup for no reason instead of being an asset to someone who's being an asset. You know? Well, bitch like, about how shitty the community is and you bust everyone's balls in the community.
And to your point, it's like, okay, I understand, like somebody falls or whatever, right? So I think the challenge is for them to be like, here are the rules, but here's what we can do. Here's how we can help you do that same thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whether it's like get creative, think outside the box, like have a city guy go out with you guys like every Friday afternoon for 4 hours and during the kids' Christmas break or whatever it is. We did last year. It was really cool. We were at I think like a realtor thing, and Clean Cut donated like for the silent auction to raise money for the Association of Realtors or whatever, like $1,000 gift certificate towards services. You know, and Tim Buick bought it, and he's like, hey man, he's like, I just, you know, wanted to help. I was going to give the money to the Realtors Association thing anyway, so, you know, here's your gift certificate back. I'm like, no, I'm like, let's do, so I'm like, I know you got properties everywhere, Tim. I'll go do $1,000 worth of stuff, you know, for you or whatever. He goes, no, I don't even worry about that, man. Just just take it, forget it. You know, you're off the hook. I'm like, no, I'm like, let's do something. And he goes, well, do whatever you think you want to do with it. I'm like, okay. And so I was like, I'll take Tim's 1,000 and we'll match 1,000. You know what I mean? We like posted on Facebook and like said, hey, we're going to go help one family with a home project, value of $2,000.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's in need.
Hell yeah.
And so I have another client that's involved with ministry and stuff, and he actually like does like homes on it. He'll buy like this one was like a cheap home in Blue Mountain or whatever that he bought for very little money, and was out there like every weekend and at nights and stuff like that for like a year trying to get the thing done. And the intent was there was somebody at the church, like a single mother with a couple kids that needed a place, and he goes, hey man, he's like, I saw this thing on Facebook, can you help me out? He's like, I'm like a couple weekends short of being able to get this thing done on time so they can get in for Christmas Day. And you know what I mean? And
that was like, hell yeah.
I'm like, that's perfect,
love
man.
To be a part of
so like we took Tim's grand, our grand, went out there, helped this dude get the house done.
And he was just doing something for somebody.
But you know, the people, you know, the lady and her kids got to move in before Christmas. It was cool. So that type of stuff is really fun.
Right.
I mean, rewarding to be able to get back and help out.
No, it's cool. Well, and so that's what I think. It seems like there would be the part of the city that goes,
how can we partner?
We got $1,000 or what, or something. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but there's no solution, huh?
Not to my knowledge, you know. I think.
Yeah, but
so I thought,
you know, what is it? Squeaky wheel gets the oil. It has to start being talked about.
Yeah. So you know, we kind of casually talked about it, and then we're like, hey, you know, you should come on the podcast.
Well, no, I think this is key.
I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, it'll bring awareness. And,
matter of fact, if you're watching this and you have had an instance, you can even post anonymously. Tell us a story about, even if it wasn't here in Decatur. Maybe we need to know that this is how it is everywhere, if that is the case. But it seems like we're different than a lot of communities, though.
I think so.
You know what I mean? So even like, it doesn't seem like it can't be the city is the only thing that's fucking up the city. That's crazy.
Yeah. I always kind of joke around and say, Decatur's far enough south where people actually care about people.
Right.
You know, you know what I'm saying?
No, you're right.
And so we have a lot of that southern mentality, I think, down here, and people just like you just genuinely care about people.
Yeah.
And I think that's beautiful, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think the city, I mean, we're in an anomaly in a lot of ways where it's like, you know, we have like Nicole, like with all these like huge warehouse facilities and stuff like that you can get into cheap. And like what you were saying about Decatur's a hub, and it is. We have all these railways running through here. You can get on any interstate real quick, go north, south, east, west, wherever you want to go pretty quick. I mean, the lake, Jeremy Garner's
they're doing
beautiful
great
job with the lake.
Yeah.
Lake's awesome. And there are a lot of really good jobs around here, and there's we have, this community has a lot going for it.
Right.
You know, so my whole thing is like, why don't we just take the mentality that everybody else has and try to sell the city, you know what I mean, on wearing the same jersey, and then we can really move forward, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. It's not a matter of going, admit you're wrong. It's like, no, let's just, if whoever's wrong, let's figure out how to move forward easily in the future. And then you can hand deliver your grievances instead of post it and run because you hate your fucking job because you have to deal with, or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I don't know the guy.
And so like at Clean Cut, like,
it sucks.
Foul language is game on at the office, right? Except for two words. You don't say the Lord's name in vain, and you don't say the word problem. You know what I mean?
Fair.
So we don't have a problem right here. You know what I mean? We have a challenge and we have an opportunity to do better. You know what I'm saying? So like that's my take on it is like, I'm not, you know, on this podcast sharing all this stuff to identify this problem, you know what I mean, without a solution. You know what I mean? The solution is how do we get everybody to
be on the same team? Wear
the same jersey, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like,
it would help everyone.
Yeah, it is a huge opportunity. And I think, I mean, Nicole Bateman, great leadership.
Yeah.
I mean, why don't we help her help us?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because she's doing a freaking great job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, you know, she brings somebody in and boom, 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 everything's cool. Now they're doing a project and it's like, whoa.
Then they quietly get the hell out of Dodge and don't ever come back. Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Knowing about it, talking about it. Sometimes even the people doing the job don't really understand what they're doing.
Well, sometimes when you're bringing the thunder, you get lost in the storm.
Fair.
I think for sure.
Fair.
You know.
Yeah, to where it's just normal. And it's like, well, yeah, but you have a, matter of fact, it is a powerful position, right? And you can abuse it or do beautiful things with it. You know what I mean? I mean, you could be the facilitator of so many amazing things. You could be a part of so many amazing things. Or you can be the one that people fucking can't stand the sound of your name because of how you get down. And it's just like,
So coincidentally, Chris Ellis shared this like really cool book with my son Jack.
Okay.
It's called, and Jack's young and he's been successful. So of course there's going to be a little ego.
Sure.
You know, and so we're like, hey man, we think you need to work on your ego a little bit, you know, type of thing.
How did he take that?
He took it well.
Okay.
Really well. And Chris, like, you know, I can, you know, sit down and talk to, and he did. I mean, and that's like Chris is at the law office, you know what I mean?
He's just a dude who's a good dude.
Jumping in and helping out another business guy. You know, I'll talk to Jack for you, no problem. And so he gives Jack this book, and Jack reads it, and I start like noticing like this huge transformation in Jack, like huge. Like he's coming to meetings like where you a lot of times would like identify a problem, no solution. Like, hey man, like I don't need you to come
tell me what's wrong.
Like, unless you have like, hey, here's what we maybe want. This might work if we tried it. Then this could be better, right? That type of thing.
Right.
So then that started happening. Like he was coming to the leadership meetings, like, hey, this is what's going on. I think we should maybe try doing this. You know, I mean, just a total different deal.
And you're
100%.
Like, I like it.
And I'm like, so what's this book Chris gave you? Because I want to read it.
Right.
You know,
what is it?
It's called Ego is the Enemy.
Oh, okay.
And so it's like, the point of the book and how it relates to what we're talking about here is I think there's an ego challenge.
Sure.
Perhaps. And like the book talks about like, you know, my way is not always the only right way. Right?
Right.
Okay. So like when you're a business owner, you're like, you know, things are going to get done around here because this is how I started Clean Cut and this is what's worked. And this is how we've grown 30% over every year and I don't need to hear this shit. So, or like, I have to be involved in everything because if I'm not involved, it's fucked up, right? That type of mentality. So this book is like, well, you know, if you have to be involved in everything, how are you ever going to scale? Like you'd be doing a huge disservice.
Did you read it?
Most of it. I just started reading it a couple weeks ago, and it's like great. Like I had AI. I'm like, hey, summarize.
Well, because you're going through something too, right? And you have built yourself to a point where you hopefully I can say this.
I have to let go of the vine a little bit.
To where you go, hey, I'm not the guy who can run this size of company.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Even if it is mine.
Yep.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's huge. Most people will sink their shit before they let the reins go. You know what I mean?
Well, it's gotten to the point with like 60, like I feel like I'm a good owner operator.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
In a certain range.
Yeah. And so I think once, over $5-6 million a year,
it's like,
I'm kind of not that guy.
Yeah. I'll go.
Now we're
put my boots back on.
Yeah. Now we're kind of getting up to like 9 million a year. I'm like, I'm really not that guy, nor do I particularly like it. So not only do I not enjoy it, I'm probably borderline competent at it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not happy doing it. So we're bringing in a president that's going to come.
Yeah.
Run clean.
Will it be hard?
I'm sorry?
Will that be hard for you? Because even if you don't necessarily want to do it, it has been by design of you.
I'm excited about it.
Okay.
It won't be hard for me. And because it's going to give me the opportunity to do what I'm passionate about and what I feel like I'm excellent at.
Yeah.
Is like, when you're in business, you're always selling.
Right.
So I got to sell my crews. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I got to be in front of those guys every day on jobs. You know what I mean? I need their buy-in. Like, we need to do things right. We need to follow these processes. Man. Yeah, I gotta. And I think the culture slips when people grow. And I want to be more like in front of the guys, in front of my clients, on jobs, visible, my face out there, not staring in front of a computer all day.
Which somebody has to be.
That I suck at. I don't like doing.
Right.
And so I felt like it got to the point where it'd be irresponsible for me not to let go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so we hired a firm out of Chicago that's been doing a nationwide search recruiting effort. We're gonna bring in a badass to do just a killer job and kind of pick up where we left off.
You already have the person?
We have identified a couple.
Okay.
Yep. We tried one out for a couple weeks.
Okay, I remember.
Yeah.
That didn't work out?
Didn't end up working out.
Yeah, that was predicted.
Well, it's we hire and fire on our core values.
Yeah.
That's a huge part.
Yes.
Like, yes, I'm cool with somebody coming in and taking over what I do as long as
we align
aligned with our core values and they're living out our core. So when people. So with that particular situation, the accountability wasn't there. Yeah. And so
it's better to identify it now than in
accountability is a core value of clean cut.
Right.
And like that I'm inflexible with.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't want to be involved in a company that isn't accountable.
Right.
And so
nobody's perfect. And it's okay.
Yeah. So like if we all need to sit down and discuss, why clean cut doesn't need to be accountable anymore, then I probably don't need to be a part of that discussion. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like this person needs to go. It goes somewhere else where accountability isn't important. And
there's some of those.
Yeah. It's cool. It's just not us. It's not who we are.
Yeah.
And so the core values I think are kind of the pivotal component of.
So what is your what's your goal? When do you realistically now? When do you think you'll be in that building?
Well, if Jason doesn't watch this podcast, probably within the next couple of weeks. If not, maybe never. So I just thought, if it doesn't work out, then you and I will go down there and blow out the walls and put an indoor basketball court in there, man. You know what I mean?
No fucking permit.
Yeah. Put a pickleball court in there. Get out there with line striper and put some pickleball courts in there or lines in there and play some basketball in the winter.
That's great.
Park the boat
if you have a wheelchair because there's plenty of bathrooms.
Yeah. Yeah. If you need to bring a golf cart in the bathroom and do a donut,
it's all good.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. No, but I'm happy for you, man. I mean,
thank you.
You guys are doing great. This hiccups definitely sucks. It'll be nice when we can laugh at the story rather than being like, it'd be nice if whoever the fuck would do what. I think that'd be the hard part is you're going, I'll do it. Just tell me what it is.
Yeah.
Let's go. What is it?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
And I feel, I'm driven. I'm an athlete and stuff like that growing up, and a lot of the values and things like that I learned from my coaches and stuff like that over the years. I've taken into my everyday life, and it's like I'm doing this. I have a vision for where this company's going, and there's not any one person or organization that's going to stand in my way of doing it.
Right.
Like, this train's going to keep on rolling.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're going to figure it out.
You're not bending policy. You're just trying to make happen.
Yep. I'm going to, you know what I mean, do the best I can.
Yeah.
I would say, you know, in a business our size, you wake up, you got to expect that you're going to have a challenge. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then your job is you got 100 pitches coming your way. 95 of them might be straight right down the middle, and you're going to have 5 curveballs. You got to hit those curveballs.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't swing and miss.
Yeah.
You know, your life's on the line. You know,
Right.
I have 65 other families that depend on me to make this thing happen and make good decisions.
Yeah. It's a big responsibility.
Yeah. It was interesting. My pastor, he's like, man, he goes, you're kind of like an old truck. I'm like, okay, what's that mean? He goes, well, you know, like, you know, back when you're a kid, you know, he's like, your grandpa's a farmer, right? Yeah, whatever. He goes, the old Chevy Scottsdale truck, like a 77 Scottsdale. You drive down the country road, 65 miles an hour. There's all this play in the steering wheel. You're all over the road, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, but he's like, guy like you. He goes, you load the back of that truck down with, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, like, with the responsibility of my company, my family. He goes, you drive straight. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we're just driving straight, you know, trying to do the right things and you know, provide value to the clientele and the communities that we serve, and support those, you know.
Yeah, you're doing it. You're doing great.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm sorry to hear that that anybody, especially that has a spot in the community as a leader, would get in your way at all. I think it's fucking crazy. But it happens, right?
Yeah. If it was easy,
You'll get
everybody
past
would do it. Yeah.
Well, I just think the kind of what to me is what's kind of been exposed in our conversation more than what you're going through is you just wonder how many people have bowed out gracefully because they just came up with 150 grand, 250 grand, 500,000, and now they need another 100. That's not
an option.
It's not an option. Yeah. So I think, that's what makes businesses full. I mean, money is the reason that small businesses fail like they do, for sure. But it just makes you go, man, how much of some of these situations could have been handled differently and kept something afloat? Because we want that. We want success. I mean,
for the greater good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think I think that sucks. And I think that'll probably change. And I think having powerhouses like Nicole, I mean, not even that it's her deal, but someone that does what she does and has the influence she does, what she says does matter.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's almost like if something does need to happen and you have the right people say it, and you're actually one of the perfect people to say it, to go, you know, you deal with nothing but the community. It isn't like you're not an online business.
Right.
You know what I mean? You are a personable company. So it's like what you say does matter. I mean, and dude, sometimes people just need to get leaned on, man. If they have a boss or whatever, which, you know, this guy isn't running the city. Sometimes it's just as the right, what'd you say? What's the Ellis, the one who went and took your son out and your boy?
Yeah.
Sometimes people need that. Someone to go, hey, let's do this different.
Yeah.
Bro.
Open your mind, man.
And let's see how you can be positively famous in this community.
Well, and then opportunity that Decatur has right now at the moment is we're in the process of pulling in a new city manager. So maybe that's one of the things that they sit down and consider. Like,
we don't have a city manager right now, do we?
No, an interim deal or whatever.
It's perfect time.
But as we're sourcing and recruiting and stuff like that, to be like, hey, what's your experience look like with working with the building and zoning departments, and how are you how do you work with new businesses coming in and wanting to do build outs and renovations?
How does that work? How do they hire a new city manager?
I think I read in the paper it's like a recruiting firm that they have that does that. But no different than our recruiting firm that is looking for a president. Like we wrote
here's what we need
here. Like
this is exactly what
we need this person to be strong here.
Right.
Here's where Colby's weak. We need strength here. You know what I mean?
Right.
Boom, 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 boom.
Did you have to have someone come evaluate that, or did you already know? Do you know your weaknesses?
I do.
Yeah.
Yep. We have a consultant that works with us. We get on a call with him every other week.
Yeah.
He's ran really large, like, national painting companies over the years, and he's been extremely helpful. We've worked with him for about a year now, and so he kind of was like, "Hey, consider hiring a president." You know what I mean? Like, you can't do this anymore, Colby. So
you're like, fair.
But yeah.
You're probably actually like, yeah, good call.
Yeah, I mean, everything he says.
I would like to like.
Why didn't I think of that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, how cool is that though? It is like you're going to get back to, not that you hate your job, but you get back to loving what you do.
Yep. I love my job because I love the company.
Yeah.
You know,
but you'll be able to go.
I don't particularly enjoy
Yeah.
staring at a computer monitor for 10 to 15 hours a day.
Right.
What I do love doing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Is working with our team and driving the culture and working with our client. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah.
And really over the last year, we've improved a lot of processes and things like that. We brought some guys and gals up to help with some of the management responsibility, which has freed up some of my time to get back out.
Yeah.
And that's been great. Like, I'll have a day where I'm like out doing that sort of thing for like 2 hours, and it's like, man, this is fun.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I love it. And these are the results I got, and those are great.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and
it's
it just
exciting.
kind of like confirms, like, okay, yeah,
this is what
I'm on the right path here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm pumped about that.
Yeah, you're doing good, man. You got a cool. I mean, the whole culture you brought with your company. It's impressive, dude.
Well, thanks,
man. You guys are doing good. You guys are doing good. Good for the community. Good for everything. Well, Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas. Thanks for having me on. And it's always fun to catch up with you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, we'll get out of here. It's about 9 o'clock. You probably got to go back to work, huh?
I do. Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. So Monday's my late night. So Derek gives me latitude to work late.
You just go zone in for a little while?
Yeah, lock in. Yeah. You know how it is running a business.
For sure.
You get the work done before 5 and after 5. You know.
Yeah, that's what is crazy. I used to do the whole try to make no way I'd do anything on Sunday. Now it's like I work 3 days on Sunday.
Yeah.
I get 3 days done on Sunday for sure.
I always kind of trick myself to like, I don't got to go back to work tonight. I get to go back to work tonight.
Damn. There you go. Yeah. What do you mean I have to?
Yeah. Well, I get to.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good way to look at it. But all right, dude. Well, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you guys for joining us on episode 90. Hey, again, if you've dealt with a situation like that we've talked about, with any, like the city building code, whatever, permit, all that shit, I'm really curious. So if you drop in the comments, just tell your story about it. That'd be great. And like he said, he made a very good point, is that it's not pointing fingers. It's not even expecting accountability from anyone. It's just saying, how do we move forward as wearing the same jersey?
Sure. Yeah.
Sounds simple. I think it can happen.
I do too.
I think it will, probably. But it's important that people like you speak up, because that's the only way. That's the only way people even know they're not doing good, is if someone tells them.
Sure.
You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm okay with someone telling me I suck at something if I do.
All right.
You know?
I usually appreciate it.
Yeah. It's like, well, I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
But, well, hey, thank you guys for joining us on this one. Merry Christmas to everyone. I'm not sure when this will come out, but it'll be, I think, right before Christmas. And, everyone have a great one. Remember what Christmas is really about, even though Santa's the bomb. You know, there's a reason for the season.
That's right, man.
So, be kind to each other, and we'll catch you in next week. Thank you.
Cool.
Hey, thanks again for joining me for this episode. Before you sign off, here's a quick word from the companies who make it possible for us to do this. Aerial Elite Solutions. When it comes to drone technology, no one does it better. From solar inspections to construction monitoring to telecom towers to wind turbine blades to real estate coverage to event showcasing, AES brings the sky to your side with unmatched quality, precision, and speed. Reach out to Aerial Elite Solutions at flyaes.com and see how they can elevate your business today. Midwest Lightning Rods. For nearly a century, they've been protecting homes, farms, and businesses from one of nature's most destructive forces. When lightning strikes, they make sure that you're covered the right way and the safe way. Contact MLR today at lightningstrikes-weprotect.com to see how you can become part of the community protected by MLR. Support local, trust the best. Aerial Elite Solutions, Midwest Lightning Rods. Excellence from the ground to the sky. Thank you again, and we'll catch you in 5 days. Until then, be kind to each other.
Yo, we on business. Yo, we out here hitting that grind. Podcast vibes, letting loose, unwind. Next on the mic, yeah, he flexing with pride. Me and dope souls taking you on the ride. Talking about life, not just that paper. Doing it big, ain't no time for a hater. People yap behind his back, but we rise like the sun. Gather around, fam, we just having some fun. Beyond business, it's a vibe, feel that thrill, getting intimate. May even get your heart filled. Meeting the legends, those raw and real. Digging deep thoughts, show you how to feel. From the block to the boardroom, we making that move. Beyond business, baby, yeah, we got the groove. Shout out to the hustlers, the real street thugs. We all eat together, no need for the drugs. Yeah, you blessed with the gift, determined to thrive. Nick's breaking it down, keeping that fire alive. Let's go deep like the ocean, no bluff. Beyond business, baby, we can't get enough.